Hello everyone. It's nice to be back in Wiltshire again, actually. It's not been long, really, and I haven't gone to greater or better things, because nothing could possibly be better than running Salisbury Arts Centre. So for those of you who don't know, yes, I've been the artistic director of Pavilion Dance Southwest for almost 6 months now. It's a national dance development organisation with responsibility for developing the art form across the Southwest, possibly to include Hampshire soon. Unconfirmed as yet. And rightly before that, I was director of Salisbury Arts Centre right here in Salisbury. My job in the next 5 minutes or so is to update you on Q, Creative Ecology Wiltshire. Since I am part of the Q governance group, I'm not the chair, but I am part of that group. And it's recently been successful in a Grants for the Arts application that allows it to continue its embryonic work as a dance and theatre development organisation for Wiltshire. But first, I guess perhaps by way of explaining Q's mission and why it matters, I think I'm going to share with you a provocation which I was asked to deliver for the National Dance Network recently. I feel a bit guilty. I'm not off the book, actually, being in this building, but I'm afraid I'm stuck to my paper, partly because I wrote it as a short paper, and I've never actually spoken it before, so it might be a bit weird. We'll see how it goes. This is a provocation about dance and about touring on the small scale. But I think maybe the messages within it can be applied across the arts and the arts markets as well. We'll see. So, imagine a busy, small-scale venue presenting nearly 200 theatre, dance and music performances every year, a world and art house cinema programme, and more than 1,200 participatory sessions a year. It's an exciting place to be. No prizes for guessing where we might be talking about. It's not far from here. It has a programmer who loves dance and who runs the organisation too. Excellent. It's got a small marketing team, a very creative and dedicated team. It has a youth and outreach post, a willing and flexible technical department, a busy operations and hirings team, and a supportive board. All good so far. The programmer aims to present 8 or 9 pieces of dance work each year. Has developed a youth dance company, a platform for dance work to be tested and scratched. Curtain raisers, workshops and post-show chats to build around the product that comes in as audience development tools. But despite all of this, each dance performance loses between £400 and £600 each evening, while the rest of the programme generally washes its own face. The board occasionally asked to be reminded why they programme dance. The marketing manager tears her hair out as she receives dance copy which might as well be in Swahili, and she receives images which bear little resemblance to the work when it comes. The technical team attempt to persuade the dance company that they don't need 60 1K Fresnels. They may wish to relight for 36, and most of those at 650 watts. The ops team are frustrated to find that the space is booked the day before as well, so they can't hire it out to the RSPB, and they're not going to meet their hires targets again for another month. And the outreach guy, well, he's done a great job in placing the 2 workshops in local schools, but then he has to fight a rearguard action when the dancer that delivers is really not very good at working with Year 9. The day of the show comes round. Sales aren't that bad, actually, about 100 in. But the average ticket yield is only £6.20, despite a top ticket price of £11. Because cheaper seats given away for the curtain raiser participants, for the workshop schools, and so forth. However, that's 620 from the box office, plus another couple of £100 squeezed out of the local schools to support the workshops. The show cost £1,250 to bring in. That's not bad, actually, considering the 3 days wraparound work that's gone with the show. A few weeks later, reflecting on the season and its perceived successes and failures, one of the team said, "Remind me again, why do we programme dance?" Because it's beautiful, because it moves, because it transcends, because it's exciting, because it's exhilarating, because I love it, damn it. So, we need to create an infrastructure for the creation, production, distribution and consumption of dance on the small scale that is, at the very least, functional. Because it sure as hell isn't at the moment. It's unsustainable. Nobody talks properly to each other. Nobody considers the whole ecology as one living organism. Nobody is brave enough to challenge the work and the makers to consider its market and their audience from the outset. Artists, promoters and audiences need to sit down together to get to know each other properly from the very beginning. Work needs to consider its audience and its market and how to communicate its intention and its impact from the very moment it's conceived. If artists want to make work that not many people will want to see or need to see, then we need to think about what other contexts beyond touring there are for such an endeavour, if any. Programming needs to be more strategic. It should support work on the small scale by centrally booking, publicising and supporting regional tours that make sense, rather than just one-off fly in and fly out again. Companies' marketing needs to be transformed and barriers to public attendance systematically eliminated. Language needs to be dropped if it inhibits. Does the word contemporary help or hinder? Does the word dance help or hinder? To succeed in this, we will all need to become a lot less precious. We all need to leave our egos at the door. We will all need to share a desire for work to be seen and to matter to those that see it. And to want those that see it to be real ordinary people. We will all have to stop being defensive, protectionist and narrow-minded about what we mean by dance and what we mean by good. So that's it. That was my provocation to the national dance sector. Surprisingly well received, actually, by the national dance demigods out there, because I must admit I was expecting to be lynched and hounded back out of the dance sector no sooner than I had arrived. So, at Pavilion Dance Southwest, I want to try and encourage this shift in culture and approach. And Q, Creative Ecology Wiltshire, also recognises, and now I'm coming to the bit that I was actually asked to come to, that connecting up the whole ecology, creation, production, distribution, consumption, is critical to a successful arts offer. So, Q2, Producing Potential, which is the next Q project that has been supported by Arts Council and by Wiltshire Council, will run throughout 2013 and into 2014. The council, the local authority here, and a number of the national portfolio arts organisations. And it aims to provide the connection between theatre and dance makers and the market. And it has 4 key objectives. 1, to provide a structure locally and regionally for dance and theatre practitioners to network with each other and with venues and other potential purchasers or supporters of their work. Secondly, to provide direct one-to-one support for dance and theatre practitioners to develop their skills in creating high-quality performance and participatory products that are relevant to and needed by a marketplace. Thirdly, to directly intervene as producers to support at least 2 new pieces of work created by local dance and theatre artists, to identify and secure markets for that work, and to support its successful distribution. And fourthly and finally, to increase the marketplace generally for dance and theatre products made in Wiltshire. And by the way, we make no apology for the repeated and deliberate use of terms like market and product. The challenge for artists is how they respond to markets while still championing and celebrating their own creativity and imagination. It is our view that the two need not be mutually exclusive. Q's currently, as you may have seen, recruiting for 3 freelance posts to deliver those objectives. One of those is a 4-day-a-week business and development producer, specifically to bring business and development skills to that task. And then there are 2 2.5-day producers, one for dance and one for theatre. Everything you'll hear today, in one way or another, whoever it's from, will refer to or require a functional and well-oiled ecology, where the relationships between, and I'll say it again, the processes of creation, production, distribution, and consumption are nurtured, open, and honest. I mean, you can tell from my provocation that there's real work, urgent work to be done in dance. I suspect the same is true in theatre, although perhaps it's not as acute. And across the arts, to ensure that the product and the market relate better to each other. Without that, frankly, you can strive as much as you like, but you certainly won't thrive, and you may well not even survive. So Q aims to achieve that, and in my view, it's an essential part of the mix for Wiltshire. So it's fantastic that Arts Council England and Wiltshire Council have both recognised that and invested in that vision. If you want to find out more, or join the network, or keep up to date, then you can just go on danceandtheatrewiltshire.net or Google Q. Thanks very much. Thank you.